95 to 99% of your life comes from your programming in your subconscious mind. Most of every day, you are not playing programs that you personally want. You're playing programs that you got from other people. So your life does not reflect what you want. It reflects the program you were given. The mind has two parts. The subconscious mind is the original brain, and it can process 40 million bits of data from the environment every second. The mind is very powerful and very fast, but it's totally habitual. It's not creative. It can only play back what it learns. The front part of the brain gives rise to consciousness. It's a small piece of the brain that is consciousness. Self or consciousness is an add-on option, and most people don't exercise the option. But note, it can process only about 40 bits of data per second. The subconscious mind is 1 million times more powerful. While the subconscious mind is fast, the conscious mind is slow at processing. That's why when you're in an emergency or stress, you operate from this one because it can operate fast and handle lots of data. But the difference between the two is this is habitual. It is the conscious mind that is creative and can generate free will. The conscious mind can control anything in your entire body. They used to say there were parts of our body that were involuntary control. But now we know that's not true. For example, yogis can regulate their heartbeat, their blood pressure, or body temperature with conscious mind. Now, recently, neuroscientists are talking about how your unconscious really shapes your life, your decisions. What they say, according to cognitive neuroscientists, we are conscious of only about 5% of our cognitive activity. They say that most people, 1% of their day is in the conscious mind. So every day, you create only from your creation mind, your conscious mind, only about 1% of what is going on in your life. And therefore, 95 to 99% of your life comes from your programming in your subconscious mind. So what this means is maybe you were the child in the store and your parents said you do not deserve. 95% of the day you will sabotage your life to make sure you do not deserve. And the reason why is the subconscious job is to create reality out of the program. And so therefore, if you have negative programming, 95% of the day, you will create that negative experience in your life. Now, here's the problem. The conscious mind and the subconscious mind work together. So whatever the conscious mind focuses on, it can control, but what it's not focusing on, the subconscious mind controls. So most of our day, we are thinking about the future or thinking about the past. That's with the conscious mind. So if the conscious mind's not paying attention to right now, then everything you're doing during the day is being run by the program that you got. But the problem is, because your mind is not, the conscious mind's not paying attention, then it does not see the program being played by the subconscious mind. I'll give an example. When you first got you in the car with a driver permit, you didn't know how to drive a car. So you were very conscious of everything, watching everything as you were trying to drive. But now you've driven for 10 or 15 years. And you might be like me. I can have a passenger in the car, and my conscious mind will be in a conversation. And I'm driving 10 minutes. And then I look out the window. And I realize I didn't pay attention for the last 10 minutes. Did anybody else do this besides me? This applies to all of our activities every day. I'll give one more example. If you know somebody and you know their parent, and you see that this person's behavior is just like their parents, and then you say to your friend, Mary, you're just like your mother. then Mary will, what, are you crazy? Why doesn't Mary see she is like her mother? Because when she's playing that behavior, she was not paying attention. So most of every day, you are not playing programs that you personally want. You're playing programs that you got from other people. But you didn't see those programs. So when your life doesn't work, you say the universe does not support me. And yet the truth was, it was your own invisible behavior that sabotaged you. So what's important is some people say, well, maybe I just do some positive thinking. Which mind does the positive thinking, conscious or subconscious? The conscious mind, which works at 5% a day with a 40-bit processor. The experiential programs from the subconscious mind, and that is 95% of the day with 40 million bit processor. Does positive thinking work? And you have to use what is called willpower with the emphasis on power to override. Now here is the second catch or the second problem. The subconscious mind is like a recorder tape player. It records an experience, and then when you push the button, it plays the experience back. Push the tape and the behavior plays. So then we take our conscious mind and we want to talk to the subconscious mind and change the program. Now think about it this way. You have a tape player and I give you a cassette with a program. And you put the tape in and you push play. And the program is going, you say, I don't like the program. Then you go up to the tape player and you say, change the program. Change the program. How much yelling at the tape player will cause the program to change? First we talk, then we yell, then we get mad, then we ask God to change the tape. The issue is the tape will not change by doing that. But there are ways to change the program if you know how to push the record button. I will talk about, just mention 3 different ways to control your life. Number 1 is mindfulness. And what that means is, if you are conscious and pay attention, then you don't play the tape. And I bet everyone in this room has experienced a time in their life where you did this, and it was one of the most special periods of your entire life. It was the day that you met your special partner or the person you fell in love with. If you think back to the period where you really had your first big love affair, I bet you were happier and healthier than you ever were, even from the day before you met them. And I call this the honeymoon period. Why was your life and your honeymoon so beautiful? I'll give an example. The day before you meet this person, how long did it take you to get dressed? 5 minutes, you put your clothes on, you're out. How long did it take you to eat your dinner? A few minutes, but now, today you meet your special love. You're going to go on a date. How long does it take you to get dressed? An hour or more. And then you go to dinner, and I bet you remember every rule of etiquette. What was different that day than the day before? You watched yourself. You didn't let the automatic program play. You were consciously controlling everything because you wanted to show your special person who you really are, so you made an effort to watch yourself. So both people are being their best they ever have been. And love is everywhere. And then time goes on. And then your life comes back in. And you start to get busy. And your mind starts to think about the job or the world or whatever it is. So while you're thinking with your conscious mind, then you're behaving with which mind? The subconscious mind. So your friend comes up and asks you a loving question, and your mind is thinking of something. And then you respond like your parent to them. And they look at you like, what kind of behavior is that? Did you see the response? Yes or no? So you say, what are you talking about? And then the arguments begin, because now you're communicating as a different person. So if you were the child in the store at 6 and you were told you do not deserve, and then you're on your job in a little tiny room doing a little job and you're thinking, I'm better than this, I should be running the company. And while they're thinking that, they're doing a job. Who's running the job? The subconscious. And what is the subconscious program? You do not deserve, so you make mistakes. How many of you were told you were average students? And then you take an exam, and when you get the test back, you look at a question and said, I knew the answer to that. Why did I mark it wrong? Because the subconscious job is to create the reality of the program. So your life does not reflect what you want. It reflects the program you were given. So one way out is consciousness. Just be conscious, and then you don't play the tape. A second way out, clinical hypnotherapy. Because that puts you back in the same brain state that you were in the learning period. And then you can put a new program and rewrite the tape. Yet there is a better and faster way even. There's a group of new psychology modalities called energy psychology. There are many different versions. For example, holographic repatterning, body talk, EMDR, EFT. The one I am most familiar with is Psych-K. These programs are like pushing the record button on the tape player. These programs can change a belief you had your entire life in maybe 15, 20 minutes. Many of them, like Psych-K, create a state of super learning like you were when you were an infant. In brain research, we study the what's called the EEG, which is the vibration activity of the brain. As adults, we have very high and low ranges of activities going on all the time. But in our development, we jump from lower to the higher, to the higher, to the higher vibrations over time. For the first 2 years, from before birth to the first 2 years, we are in the lowest frequency. Okay, this is for an adult, delta is like sleeping or unconscious. From 2 until 6, there's higher activity called theta. When we're in theta, it's like imagination. That's why children between 2 and 6 mix the real world and the imaginary world in their play. When the child gets to 6, then another level starts called alpha, which is calm consciousness. When the child reaches 12, it can express all the ranges from delta, theta, alpha, and this is like schoolroom consciousness, beta. The most important point, consciousness, the way we think consciousness, is not available to the child until after 6. The first 6 years are the programmable state. The reason is this low activity is called the hypnagogic trance. So when if I want to hypnotize you, I have to take you from higher levels into lower levels, and then I can put information into the subconscious.